It's 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, and it's time for...
Craig Ryland's Magic Review Show.
I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Welcome back to another review show right here on...
Magic TV.
Absolutely. Thanks once again for joining us right here on Magic TV. We have 5 new tricks to look at this week. 5 new tricks, one of which you can get completely free. There is absolutely no cost to you at all. Sounds too good to be true, and it's actually a really awesome trick as well. But... without further ado, we're going to be talking about Ryland's favourite subject on the first trick. We're going to be talking about Rubik's Cubes. And if you've ever wanted to solve a Rubik's Cube and you don't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, but you'd like to do a cube solve on stage, this is a review that you might want to listen to. So, let's get straight into the first review.
Okay, so this is Tetracube. Max has brought it out through Magic Dream. Now, I really like Tetracube. He doesn't...
No. Let's not get into this. I'm not saying I don't like it. I think it's bloody clever. I think it's a really...
yeah.
If I'd have created this, I would have been so proud of myself. I don't think I have the ability to create something like this. This is ingenious in terms of the way it works. I am not going to do it, however. And there's a few reasons for that, but I'm not saying this is bad at all by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, when we were at the session, and Magic Dream were at the session, these were flying off the shelves. Everybody was grabbing a Tetracube. Yeah. What it is, and you can talk about why you like it so much, and I'll talk about...
we can perform it, can't we?
Okay, well, let's get Ryland to do a performance of a couple of the different ways that you can use Tetracube, and then what we'll do is we'll go into basically... the pros and cons. We'll give you our viewpoint, but this is a video of Ryland doing a couple of solves with it.
Okay, so what you're about to see is Tetracube. So the cube was mixed up and now it's solved. And in case you thought there was any special patterns, I'll mix it up again like this. Just mix the cube up. So the cube is completely mixed, as you can see. Now I'm going to try to solve this cube by throwing it up in the air. Look, count of 3. 1, 2, 3, just like that. And the cube is completely solved. What?
Okay, so what you just saw there was a performance of Tetracube.
Yeah.
And basically what you have here is you have a special cube. This is a very, very special cube. It comes unstickered, doesn't it, Ryland?
Yeah.
You had to sticker it.
Yeah.
And you need to watch the tutorial first because, and you're going to have to, I didn't watch the tutorial all the way through, you did. But there's a couple of different ways that you have to sticker it depending on what you're wanting to do with it.
Yeah, there's 2 ways. There's a non-flap and there's a flap. I would prefer the flap. I like doing it with the flap because I just think that the flap is cleaner. So
what's the disadvantage of the non-flap? Why is it not as clean?
Because you have to cover it like that. At the end, you're like covering like one side, and you're covering like most of that there.
So in other words, and is that at the beginning as well, or just at the end?
If you use the flap,
so this is the flap cube.
This is the flap cube. If you don't use the flap, you'll have to cover it like that.
Okay.
You'll have to cover just 4 squares. But if you use the flap, you have to sticker it a different way. So if you want to have a non-flap and a flap, you'll have to get 2 different ones because you sticker them in a different way. But
and what's nice about this is it comes with stickers that are the Henry Harrier stickers.
Yeah, which
so it matches all of the cubes that you use in your act.
They do. Yeah, they match all the. Yeah.
It matches Venom Cube and everything.
I'm not going to say how it works, but it is very clever.
When Magic Dream was showing it at the convention, they were literally showing people how it works, and I think that I think it's okay to show how it works because Max has gone on social media and kind of basically showed people the workings of it, and this is a review show for just magicians, and I think that one of the things that's really good about this is the way it operates.
Yeah.
Because to be clear, if you wanted to do a cube solve in your act, there's a couple of ways that you could do it in the past. And the first is with an enchanted cube by Daryl, although there's limitations there as well, and it's normally not a very well made cube in terms of how you actually receive it. And the other way is using sleight of hand. Now, on BGT, you used Stephen Brunridge's toss-up solve, didn't you?
Yeah.
By Stephen Brunridge. So you did the toss-up solve with a regular cube. So you took a regular cube, and in your act that you do on stage almost every single night, you open up with cubes, you do Venom Cube, then you go into toss-up solve, then you do a shake solve, then you put the thing behind your back and you solve it behind your back, and then you finish off with the solution by Michael Murray and you have it solved behind their back.
Yeah.
That's all with a regular cube.
Yeah.
So my question to you, Because I think, and first of all, I'm not being negative about this. I want people to know that I think this is a valid way to actually, if you want to put cube magic into your act and you don't want to bother learning a Rubik's Cube, this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
Most of the stuff I do doesn't involve solving a cube.
What?
Like,
yes, it does.
Behind the back solve doesn't. Toss up solve doesn't. Venom cube doesn't.
What do you mean behind the back doesn't involve solving a cube? That's exactly what you're doing. You're solving a cube.
Oh yeah, that is
Think of your. Hang on, you're talking rubbish. I'm not going to have this. You open with Venom cube. I agree. There's no cube solving there. But then you do the toss up solve. Ding, solve number 1. Then you go into hang on. Then you go into a shake solve. Ding, solve number 2. Then you put the coat cube behind your back and you solve it. You go, when you count to 10, it'll be done, and you go 1 and you go done. Ding, solve number 3. Then you get the spectator to solve it behind their back. Ding, solve number 4. And then after the next trick, you take the cube back from the audience and you solve it blindfolded. Ding, solve number 5. I'm not going to take that you don't solve a cube in your act. That's rubbish.
The first 4, you know what they are.
Yeah, the sleight of hand.
They're memory.
Yeah, it's using the Bruntwich mix. I know, that's the point.
It's a pattern.
The point I'm trying to make here, I want to find out of you.
No pattern.
Ryland loves this. He's literally running around the house, tetracubing his butt off. Is there constantly throwing this thing up in the air. You have the ability. What's your average solve time with the Rubik's Cube now?
20 to 40 seconds.
20 to 40 seconds, right, okay. So you can solve a cube in about 20 seconds.
Probably about.
Your PB is about 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
What? Why do you love this so much? Like, I just want to know, because my attitude towards this is very, very simple.
I just think it's like a fun toy to play with.
It's a fun toy to play with.
Yeah. I wouldn't actually do it in a show, but...
Would you not? No, because that's interesting, because it does look visual.
Yeah.
And the way you present cube magic when you're on stage, you don't have a spectator really on stage with you. Okay, you do. But okay, you do. But you could. I forgot that. But you wouldn't need to have. I mean, you could just literally. You could walk. Somebody could walk out on stage, take a cube, throw it up in the air, solve it with this, and then just put it away and go into something else. Because I've got a couple of issues. The first issue is, and I'm trying to talk myself out of these issues. The first issue is it can't be examined. It can't be examined beforehand or afterwards. And also the other issue is
no, but you can show it and I think it's normal because you can show that it's completely.
Yeah, you can do the false mix, but you can't actually have it mixed yourself, and you can't have the spectator mix it.
Still, like look, I just. So this looks like it's being mixed.
No, it does.
So
I agree.
Technically, they think that's being mixed, so they're like, okay, so it turns, it turns, and you can see that it's completely solved. Then you can see that it's completely mixed.
So let me ask you a question. Have you ever been? I know this doesn't happen on stage, but have you ever? Because I have had this, and maybe it's just because I'm a bad magician. But have you ever had it where you're doing close up and you do a cube solve quickly, like the shake solve or something? And the spectator will go, oh, it's a special cube with a button. Pass me that cube. Want to look at it? You must have had that.
Yeah, I never said I perform this out on that. I just said I learned the pattern for toss-up solve, which I can do.
Okay, so...
As I said, I just like using it as a little toy to play with.
You play with it as a toy. So, but here's the thing. This is a review show for magicians. My question is, would you actually... If somebody's watching this, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want to go through the hassle of learning to solve a cube. Because to be clear, any cube solve that you want to do that's a quick cube solve, technically you don't need to learn how to solve a cube. But if you mess it up, you're going to have to solve the cube. Or you're going to have to get a solve, which is a pain in the butt.
No, it's not.
It takes ages. So
it's not.
My question is, if somebody's watching this, they have no interest in learning to solve a cube, but they'd like to put a cube solve into their act, and I'm sure...
They do toss-up solve.
No, they don't want to learn that. They don't want to do sleight of hand with cubes. Would this be a valid way to come out on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Craig, I'm a magician. My job is to do the impossible like this. Who's seen one of these before? It's a Rubik's Cube. There's so many different combinations, but if I just throw this in the air, it's solved. That's magic. And then you just put it away and you go into your act. Yeah. Would you recommend this as a prop to do that? Because if you're on stage and you're doing this, they're not going to need to worry about examinability.
Yeah, because stage, maybe, as long as you practice it and you don't have it so it lands halfway done and halfway not. Okay.
The other thing that Max says, and I want to know because you do the solution by Michael Murray more than anyone, the behind the back solve where you give the cube to the spectator. I've seen Max talk about this online, and I want to know your opinion, because I don't really do the solution much these days. So, but I know you open your show with the solution. So my question to you is, Max has actually said that you could do the solution with this. So you could do a toss-up solve, then you can have a spectator come up on stage, mix it up again. I don't do this, but what you just did, mix it up again, put it behind their back, do the whole thing that you do with the solution, but with this. Would that work, do you think?
Yeah, because I can do...
Because I know that the solution is one of my favourite parts of your show.
Yeah, you could do...
It's one of the best tricks that's ever been created, in my opinion. And a lot of people can't do it because you need to be able to be fairly confident with either Takamizu Sui's mix or Stephen Brudridge's mix to be able to do it. If this opens up that possibility...
so you could have it, so it's mixed. You put it behind their back, you do the things, like when you put it behind their back, you do that.
Yeah.
And then once you've done that, what you can do then is you just give it them. So this is behind their back right now. You just give it them. They do that.
And then they would bring it out.
They bring it out. But I would say, you just say bring it off, and as soon as they bring it out, take it off them.
Because you don't want them holding that for too long, do you?
Yeah, because if they hold it for too long, they'll probably...
Well, I don't think it's a problem quickly showing people how this works, because Max has gone through it in great detail. That is so genius.
So the non-flap version, well, I'll tell you the flap version first, because obviously this has got flaps on. It has flaps here and here. So look, this, I'll just show you the yellow side right now. But so this is what happened. I'll do it slowly so you can see.
Yeah.
So basically, this I'm going to need more double-sided tape for this because this flap is coming off. But if you say replace it every
10 or 12 performances.
Say about 5 performances.
Okay.
Just shove a roll of double-sided tape in your thing, or get some glue dots, and you can just shove that in your case. And every few performances,
just replace it. Yeah.
This flap is coming off.
We're not going into a tutorial now. I get that.
Yeah. But that's coming off right now, so I'll just take that off. So that would be a flap. That would be covering that, and then basically, so these things get covered by the flap. Like these two here, they just get covered up by the flap. The red one gets there'll be a flap there, obviously.
I get it. Okay.
So that would cover up that.
It's genius. Yeah. It's genius. Like Max is a genius.
And then that basically, it just, one of them stays, as you can see. That one stays. But just having one strip on each side is fine. Just having one strip is fine on each side.
Mm-hmm. So, look, ultimately, here's the thing.
Although some of this is not possible, though.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Ultimately, you love it.
Yeah.
I think it's very clever.
Yeah.
You're not going to use it in your act, but you've used it on Instagram. You know, but if you're a kids entertainer, if you're a cabaret performer, if you're a parlour performer, and you can control when people come up on stage, and you want to do a cube solve in your act, or you want to do The Solution by Michael Murray, and you want to use a cube, you know, this is so easy. Like literally within a minute or two, you'll be able to get this, and Max does really well on the tutorial as well, to be fair. I'm not going to do it. You know, I do a lot of cube stuff, not as much as you. But I'm not going to do it because most of the time when I do cube magic, it's close up. It's not on stage. And I wouldn't want to bring this out close up. But, and normally that means that I wouldn't give it more than 79%. I'm going to give this more than 79% because if I didn't solve a cube, if I didn't have the ability to solve a cube...
Sam, I'm going to give this 90.
You're going to give this 90. If I didn't have the ability to solve a cube, I would solve this. Sorry, I would buy this.
Solve this.
I would buy this. I love the idea of coming out on stage and just using it as a really quick opener. I think kids I do cube magic in kids shows, and I know how much kids love cube magic. This would go really well in a kids show, go really well in a cabaret show. I just wouldn't use this close up. I don't think this is a close up trick. I might be wrong, and maybe we should take it out and do it close up and do a review show revisit on it and see what people think. But yeah, I like it. I'm going to give it 87%. I like it. I think it's clever. It's one of the cleverest things I've ever seen. It's genius in terms of how it works. I've got a few issues with it in terms of examinability, but I think that there's certain environments you can get around that. So 87% from me. What were you giving it?
90.
90% from Ryland, 87% from me. It's a really good trick. It's really good. If you, the only thing is that you need to consider is the price. It's £135. So, you know, if you, and I can understand why, it's really well made. But if you buy this, really think about it beforehand. Make sure you've got a place in your act to do it. But, you know, this opens up the realm of cube magic to people who have no interest in learning how to solve a cube. So, yeah, well done, Max. Let's move on with the next review. So next up, we have MidAir TNR by Luke Osland and Visual Magic Store. MidAir TNR by Luke Osland is a hyper-visual restoration like no other. You tear a folded card in two, show the separate pieces before restoring them in mid-air. The handcrafted gimmick does all the work for you. Once you drop the two pieces, the gimmick automatically restores them. Every single word he's saying there is completely true.
I would say before we talk anything about this, I think we should do the performance.
Okay, let's have a look at me performing this to camera, and then after I've done the performance, we'll go through the pros and the cons. Okay, I'm going to show you an illusion with a playing card. This is a jack of clubs. Hopefully you can see the jack of clubs okay. I want to watch very carefully and don't blink for a second. I'm going to take this card and fold it in half, crease up the edges, and I'm going to try and show you a miracle. What you're about to see is impossible. I'm going to tear this card just like that so you can see two pieces. You can clearly see two pieces. That is piece number one, that is piece number two. It happens on three. Watch, 1, 2, 3, and just like that the card restores into one full card. So that's the trick, and it looks super visual. That restoration looks a little bit like that Nicholas Lawrence Revolve, and actually Luke credits Nicholas Lawrence for that moment and the Changeling by Mark Lavelle. But that moment there where the pieces go together, it looks great. And Luke's point on the tutorial was that you can take this folded up card, put it in your wallet, and it's in your wallet and it's ready to go anytime you want to do something. A lot of Luke's stuff is designed for social media. A lot of Luke's stuff is designed for Instagram and TikTok and channels like that, and reels and short video, short form content. But this is something that I think would work in the real world. Yeah. You just need to get pretty good at that fake tear. There's a fake tear in there. Beyond that, it's not actually that difficult at all. You show the card very, very cleanly. You might want to take a step back. There is something to see if you're really hyper close up. So if I was performing this to a group, I'd probably just take a step back as I do the tear. And then I'd move back in to do the restoration. And then as I open this up to show it again, I'd move back. That's the only angle issue to consider. But this would look also great on social media. Obviously, it'd look amazing on social media. It uses, the gimmick could break if you use it enough times, but you get extra stuff in here so that if it does break, you can fix it.
Extra thing, I'm not going to say.
Yeah, extra stuff so you can fix it. And Luke actually talks about how to fix it and actually breaks it on purpose on camera and then fixes it in like 30 seconds. Yeah, so you can see exactly how it's fixed. I mean, look, there's a million TNRs. Is this as good as Beyond Reform, which I did a review show special on a couple of weeks ago? No, it's not. I still think that's the best TNR ever made. However, I do think this is very, very good. I think it's one of the more visual TNRs I've ever seen, because you show those two pieces as separate and boom, they instantly restore, and you open up the card and you show that they're restored. Would you do this? I know you're planning on doing it on social media, and you know, because you do a lot on social media, you're basically Luke's demographic, because a lot of the people that buy Luke's stuff, they buy it to do it on social media. So my question is, 1, would you do this on social media? And 2, would you do this in the real world?
Yeah.
Yes, on both bets. Yeah. Do you agree with Luke that this could be a thing that you could just put in your wallet and you can be good to go anytime?
Yeah, if you're careful with it in your wallet.
Careful with it in your wallet. Just put it into like one of the little credit card slots or something like that. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, you just saw a performance of it. You need to be slightly careful of the angles, but this is something that's designed for social media that will work in the real world. I'm probably going to give this a go in the real world and see how it goes. I think it'll get a good reaction. I think it'll make a nice opener. You know, just take this out your wallet and do. And I also think it'll be a great impromptu piece as well. I just need to get my head around. It's not angly, but I just want to get my head around the blocking. I'm going to give it 85%. I think it's really good. I'm definitely going to try it. It's not as good as Beyond Reform, but it's still very, very good, and that's why it's getting a good mark from me. 85% from me. What about you? I know that you and Luke are buddies, and you love all of Luke's material, so try not to be biased.
100%.
100%. What a surprise. 100% from Ryland for MidAir TNR. 85% from me. It's really good, and yeah, it's very easy. It's a 10-minute tutorial. You watch the tutorial, you'll get it down almost straight away. You got it down within seconds. I mean, you didn't even watch the tutorial. You came in and watched the tail end of it, and you were like, got it, done, thanks, moving on. Anyway, that's MidAir TNR. Very, very good. We're now going to go back and have a look at another trick from Magic Dream. This is the second Magic Dream trick this week. The first one was Tetracube. Now we're going to look at the next one. Yes. Here we go. Okay, so next up we have Jumbox by Magic Dream. And one thing that I love about Magic Dream is that their tutorials are so on point. This is a 1-hour tutorial. Another company that had the idea of a marked jumbo deck, which is what this is, could very easily just bought out the jumbo marked deck, put a 2-minute video on there explaining what the marks are, which a lot of marked decks have these days. A lot of marked decks, people don't go to the trouble of putting content together for it. It's just like, here's a marked deck, buy it if you want. But Magic Dream have bought marked decks out in the past, the Ultimate Marked Deck, for example, and they've really gone to town on the tutorial. 1-hour tutorial with Johan and his business partner going through every single thing that you can do with this. And I really appreciated that. I thought it was great. Now, they've made these cards to look like bicycle playing cards, and the quality of the cards are really good. You get 3 jokers in there, and you get a blank card as well, so that you can use those for whatever you want to use it for. The box is really nice. The cards are really nice. They start off by talking to you all the different ways that you can actually shuffle a jumbo deck, so that you know, people who have never handled a jumbo deck before, you know how to shuffle it. Ryland's hands are way too small to be able to do anything other than maybe an overhand shuffle, and even then I think he'd struggle.
Can't do an overhand. What I'm going to do is grab some cards, put it there, grab some cards, put it there, grab some cards, put it there, grab some cards, put it there.
Because your hands are little, buddy. And there's a ton of routines on the tutorial. There's a load of routines. I'm going to get Ryland, before we talk about the marking system, I'm going to get Ryland to perform a quick trick for you. So this is one of the routines off the project, one of many. This is one that I really liked. I think it's got a really good impact. So we'll have a look at that. Yeah. And then we'll talk about what we think.
Yeah. Okay, so Dad, here I have a jumbo deck.
A jumbo deck of cards. Yeah. Would you like me to shuffle it for you?
I can't.
Well, your hands are tiny.
I have to like cut. I can't do that. I can't do that. Can't do that either. Why are you showing off?
I'm showing off.
Can you do it my way?
I'll give them one of these as well.
No, you're showing off.
I don't even know if you can Pharaoh shuffle these. This is the first time on camera. I might just end up looking stupid. Yeah, I look stupid. You can't Pharaoh them. I bet you could Hindu shuffle them.
Yeah, I can't. It's too big for me to Hindu.
There you go, and I'll give them a cut. Done.
So, I'm going to spread the card out.
You want me to spread them out?
Yeah.
Not a great spread. Is that okay?
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to write a prediction.
You are?
Yeah. No looking.
Okay, I'm not going to look. Do you want to lean on the card box? Would that help?
Yeah.
I'm not going to look.
Yeah, you're not going to look.
I'm not looking.
Good.
I'm looking away.
Good.
This is a prediction.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Okay, so I've got one. I'm going to write 2 cards, just in case.
Wait, you're going to get 2 guesses?
Yeah.
Well, that's not right.
Well, it is in my books.
Okay.
Right, so. Done with the pen. Got my prediction.
Yeah,
Box
I'll
right
put
here.
that away.
Yeah.
I'll put the pen away.
I'm going to fold it up like this.
Okay.
I'm going to put the prediction. In fact, you know, I'll write a question mark on.
Oh, you're going to write a question mark?
Yeah, I'll write a question mark.
You're going way over the top with this, you know, right?
There.
Okay.
2 guesses, and it's a prediction.
Okay.
You can tell it's a prediction because it's got the question mark on, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
2 guesses. So, you're going to pick any card.
Any card?
Any card.
Look away then.
Looking away.
I'm going to go for that one.
Okay, have you got it? Show the camera.
Yeah, I think the camera can see it,
And just put it on the top of the deck.
All right.
Put the cards back, square the cards up. And then just give the cards a cut so it's lost in the deck. Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the prediction. So, I'm going to tell you what my prediction is. I hope this is right. I really hope this is right. Was your card the 7 of hearts or the 4 of hearts?
No, it wasn't the 7 of hearts. It was not the 4 of hearts.
What was your card?
You're kind of close. It was the 5 of hearts. You're close, though.
Well, we'll look for the 5 of hearts in the deck. We'll look for the 5 of hearts. It's going to be blank card.
You get a blank card in this deck.
Imagine if that was your card. It's done blank. Dun, dun, dun. It's in here somewhere.
I think we just passed it.
Did we? I thought that was the 5 of diamonds.
I'm sure you just went past it. There. There.
Oh, okay. So the 5 of hearts, that was your card.
Mm-hmm.
My prediction is here.
Yeah, you got it wrong.
7 of hearts and the 4 of hearts, but look. The 4 of hearts is there. The 5 of hearts is in between the 7 of hearts as well. The 4,
No
the 5,
way.
and the 7.
You predicted the cards that my card would be in between from a shuffled deck.
Yes.
Wow.
Impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
Is that cool?
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So I love that trick. I love the idea of
Yeah.
predicting the sandwich cards. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of the tricks that they actually teach, you can do them with a regular mark deck, but obviously the jumbo cards just make it, perfect for stage or something like that. My question is to you, because you've played around with these quite a lot now. What do you think of the marking system, Ray?
I think it's very cool.
I've never seen a marking system quite like that before, have you? Like, it's really obvious. Like, you can see from a distance. Like, if I hold this really back from Ray, I bet he can tell you the card.
5 diamonds.
There you go.
4 of spades.
There you go. Once you know what the marking system is, hang on, let's really test it.
2 of spades.
Darn! Right, one more. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to...
4 of clubs.
Okay, very good. Very good. So you can see I can't, my eyes are terrible, but you can see the marks once you understand really from a distance. They're actually quite big. It's very difficult to see them, but once you know what you're looking for, they are so obvious. Now, they actually talk on the project. Johan actually mentions that this would be great if you were doing mem deck magic with the jumbo deck, because you could have the deck set up in mem deck order, and then you could have them like cut the deck and take a card. And when they take the card, you can look at this card and it'll tell you what this card is. So if you saw, I don't know, a king of diamonds there, so that's 26. You know this is 25. You get the idea?
Which is 5 diamonds.
Yeah, 5 diamonds. Yeah. So that's an interesting use for it as well. Look, it is what it is. It's a very well made jumbo deck of cards with a really clever marking system and literally an hour of tutorial explaining you a whole bunch of tricks with it.
Yes.
Great for stage performers, great for cabaret performers, great for parlour performers. But also, I think as a close-up magician, especially if you're working big tables, you could definitely incorporate this into your act, 100%. You just have to, and I've talked about this before, when I'm doing close-up and I'm doing banquet, and I want to use a bigger prop, what I'll do is I'll find an area of the room out of the way, or I'll there's normally a little table or something, and I'll put the prop over there. So when I go to a table and I'm getting really good reactions, and I go, hey, let me show you one more, I'll go and get that and bring it back over to the table. So you don't have to carry it around with you, but using something like this just makes it visual from a distance. So yeah, it's really good. I like it. I think I might actually play around with this and come up with a few things to do with this in my act, which is why I'm going to give it 90%. What are you giving it, Ryan? Would you use it?
Yeah.
You would? Okay. I can see you.
99.
I can see you rocking some memdeck
99.
stuff with this on stage.
99.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You should come up with a stage mentalism trick, a stage memdeck trick using these.
Oh,
Stack them into mem deck later on and come up with a routine and show it me. Right, so let's put that over there. That's really good. We're now going to move on to the next trick. Let's go for it. Okay, so the next trick is by Chris James and it's called Pop Wild. Now, full disclosure, I consider Chris a friend. Ever since I launched the Netrix, he has been a gold member of the Netrix. When he started working with me, he said, hey, I really want to become a magic creator. And since then, he's just been on fire. Like, his Instagram channel is one of the best Instagram channels I've seen. You're always tagging each other in Instagram posts and so on and so forth. He has this ability, which very few people have, to take somebody else's trick and literally come up with about 15 different ways of doing it. And that's something that I do, and something that I've seen him do over and over again. He performs an awful lot to camera. He does a lot of Instagram posting. He's been featured on Murphy's channel like literally 1,000 times. But you know, I am biased because I do think he's a great creator. I think he's got a very bright 2023. I put him in the performers to watch video of 2023. I am a little bit biased towards him, but I wanted to review this for the simple fact that this is completely free. He's put this up on Penguin Magic.
Yeah, when I first heard that, I'm like, really?
Yeah, because I showed it you and I didn't tell you it was free. And I was like, here, have a look at this. And you were like, oh, that's really good. I didn't tell you who it was by or anything. I just said, have a look at this. And you were like, oh, that's awesome. And I said, yeah, it doesn't cost a penny. And you were like, what? Like one of your YouTube, like one of your Instagram videos. It was like, what? And I was like, yeah, free, totally free. You just go on Penguin Magic, you search Pop Wild. It's already got about 30 reviews or something like that, 5-star reviews. You click on buy, you add it to the cart, and you just get it in your account for free. You don't pay a penny. And what it is it's a really cool production of 4 aces. And Chris on the tutorial goes through how to construct it. It'll take you literally about 5 minutes to construct, if that. Then goes through the whole routine, and then goes into other routines you can transition into after this routine, and then also talks about other ideas that you can use for the gimmick. Now, if you've not seen it, I'm going to do a performance of it now, so you can see exactly what Pop Wild is, and then once you've seen that, we'll talk all about the trick. Okay, right. I have a couple of cards here. Now, these are not normal cards. Very difficult to get cards like this. These are actually magical wild cards. You know when magicians make cards appear?
Yeah.
They use wild cards. Now, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's not. You can tell the wild cards because they actually say wild on them along with a question mark. These question marks mean that these cards are wild cards, and wild cards can make any cards appear. Now, magicians use these, but you could use them if you're a gambler. Let's say, for example, you wanted to make an ace of, the 4 aces. If you were playing cards, the 4 aces would be good, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted to make the 4 aces appear, let's say you'd want the ace of hearts, all you'd have to do is snap. Now, you have to do that when people aren't looking, but then you can get an ace of hearts. Look at that. I just got that magically from in between the wild cards. I know it's kind of weird, right? Now, I'll do it again for you. Look, we've still got the 2 wild cards, yeah? Watch, because this time you know what's going to happen. Sometimes you see magicians twisting it. That's got nothing to do with the trick. It's not that. What you have to do is it's the snap. So watch very carefully. You see them there?
Yeah.
Don't blink. The snap like that. That's why sometimes that's the next ace. You see, that's the ace of diamonds. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do that when you're playing cards. So there is another technique. Watch. Hang on a second. I've been practicing this, but I'm not very good at it. You just shake and you get the... you shake and you're supposed to get another ace. You shake and you know what I've done? I've shook too much. Do you know what happens when you shake too much?
What?
Well, the wild cards turn into the final 2 aces, and that's the 1, 2, 3, 4 aces. What? Now, I've had a couple of people say to me that it's similar in a way to a Henry White trick from a few years ago that came out through World Magic Shop, and I've looked into both of them. And obviously there is a bit of a similarity. However, the method behind what Chris is doing is radically different. Without giving too much away, the method that Chris uses is very, very different. And it's a method that I've actually researched and gone into and used in my own work quite a lot over the years. And I've never thought about using it exactly like this. But it makes the whole trick basically self-working. And it is really visual, you know, it's really, really visual. You've got the 2 wild cards, and then boom, an ace appears, and then boom, another ace appears, and then boom, you know, you've got the final change. Very, very strong. And you don't have to use blank cards with wild card on them. You could just use plain blank cards. You could use jokers. There's so many different ways of actually doing this. You saw it and you were like, that's cool. You immediately wanted to start doing it, didn't you? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say about it other than it's really good. It's a very strong trick. I love tricks that have a kicker ending that people don't see coming. And the construction of this routine is really nice because boom, the first ace appears, boom, the second ace appears, and then you've got that kind of mini magician in trouble scenario, and then boom, the wild cards turn into the two final aces, which is great. He talks on the tutorial about how everything can be examined at the end, which is really cool. And as I said, he talks about how to transition into other routines. He teaches twisting the aces along with a bunch of other stuff. This is a really well thought out tutorial. And once again, it's free. Ridiculous. It's free.
Such a good trick and it's for free.
I know, it's
That's
mad,
right, you
right?
can make a lot of money out of this.
Well, one thing I was thinking is I did a review a little while ago on the Snow Deck by Magic Dream, which is really good. And you know what would be quite cool? If you actually threw Pop Wild into the Snow Deck. So you said, hey, I'm going to show you something with these cards, the blank on both sides. I'm going to start off with these two. And you make the cards so the blank on the front and on the back, just like the rest of the Snow Deck. And you say, hey, I'm going to start off with these two. I'm going to show you something. And you make the four aces appear using Pop Wild. Then you put the four aces away and you say, well, let's see if we can go one step further. And when you get them to imagine what the card is in the Snow Deck, you imagine what the card is, but you go, yeah, don't go for an ace because obviously we've made those appear or something like that. And I think that the two work really well together. So, yeah, because they're both productions of cards and, you know, it'd be a nice finale to Pop Wild to have the finale being that the actual card itself that they thought of as appeared.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm going to give it 100%. It's free, but even if it wasn't free, you know, this is much better than a lot of $20 or $30 tricks that come out. But the fact that it's free, you're going to have all the stuff that you need to make it around the house. If not, it'll cost you about $3 or $4 from a magic shop. I'm giving it 100%. What about you? Same. 100% from me, 100% from Ryland. If you want it for free, just go to Penguin Magic, type in Pop Wild or type in Chris James, go and add it to your cart, go through the checkout. It won't charge you anything. It'll be in your account and you can learn it straight away. So there you go. That's trick number 4. We've got 5 tricks this week. We're going to finish off with one final trick, which is one of Ryland's favourite tricks that's come out recently. Yeah. Let's have a look at that. So the final trick today is by one of your favourite magicians, David Regal. Yeah. The long and the short of it by David Regal. And what David's done is he's taken a very old optical illusion and turned it on its head and Regal-fied it. Is that a word? Regal-fied it? Regal-fied it? He's Regal-nated it. He's Regaled it. He's Regaled it. He's done a Regal on it. That's what he's done. He's done a Regal on it. It's taken something that everybody's had for years and he's Regal-fied it. That's the one, Regal-fied. He's Regal-fied it. If you don't know what we're talking about, I'm going to show you. Well, actually, when I say me, I mean him. He's going to perform it for you. We're going to have a look at the long and short of it, and then we'll talk about why it's so awesome.
Okay, so Dad, here I have 2 pieces of red wood. 2 red pieces of wood, yeah?
I see that, yes.
Put them there. And I've also got 2 yellow pieces of wood. Now, as you can see, the 2 yellow pieces of wood are longer than 2 red pieces of wood. In fact, you can really tell when we put them together like this.
Yeah, I'll move that bag out of the way for you. Yeah. They're way longer. Way bigger.
Especially when you put them together. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's pretty obvious. So, put the red ones away. So, we've got the 2 shorter pieces of wood here.
No, dude, they're the longer ones.
No, they're not.
No, they are. No, they're the longer ones.
No, look. The red ones are the longer ones.
What?
Yeah, look.
What?
These are the longer ones.
No, they say short on them, right?
Really? That must mean these are the short ones then. So these then are the long ones, right?
What is going on? What is happening? What?
Now I understand that. But
I'm glad you do, I don't.
You probably understand that if you have a long and a short and a short and a long. No, that doesn't work. That's what you understand. It's long, short, short, long, yeah?
Right.
That makes sense. But the weird thing is, if we have a short, long, long, short, the long, short is longer than the short, long.
But they can't be.
But look, remember, these are the shorter ones. We'll put the shorter ones to the side. We'll put the short at the beginning. We'll put the long at the beginning. And the ones that were shorter, now the longer is because the long is at the beginning.
But they were shorter.
Now, that does make sense. But
it doesn't. It makes no sense whatsoever. No, hang on. I'm still stuck on the fact that makes no sense. No sense.
No, that makes sense.
No,
but
it makes no sense.
Let me tell you.
Shut up. No sense.
Let me tell you what doesn't make any sense. I get that, but what I don't get is this: that they are all actually the exact same size.
That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, I mean, that is a trick that's been an old optical illusion that everybody has done for years and years and years. And David Regal's taken it and gone, well, you know what? We can turn that into an amazing magic trick. And I think you'd perform that to anybody and they're going to be just blown away. They're going to be blown away. You actually turned around to me and you said, I want to take that and put it in my close-up case now. I love that trick. That trick is awesome. It's great because you need a table, but there's no special table required or anything like that. They can look at it from any angle. It literally is 4 pieces of wood in a little red sort of velvet carrying bag, and you're good to go. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks good.
It is amazing.
Yeah, you've already put it on social media.
Yeah.
But it's the sort of thing that you can do in live performances as well. It's easy to do. There's a live performance at the Magic Castle by David Regal. There's no angles to speak of. There's no sleight of hand. It's an immediate reset. Technically, it could be examined at the end if you wanted to. And David talks about that. And the tutorial goes through everything with a fine-tooth comb. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. It's one of the best. It would work close-up. It would work parlor. It would work if you had rear projection. If you had projection onto a TV screen, this is the sort of thing that you could kill on a stage as well. There's just nothing to not like about this. This is really, really good. It's not a card trick. It's not a coin trick. It's not a spunded ball trick. It's unlike anything anyone's seen before.
Spunded ball.
Spunded ball. It's a new thing. Haven't you heard of them? What do you think of it?
I think it's really good.
Do you?
Yeah.
You going to do it?
Yeah.
You're going to do it? Okay. So what are you giving it? I know what I'm giving it.
I'm going to give it 100%.
100%. See, you're ripping me off. I was going to be. You're in a good mood today. Recently, it's just been like 10%, 20%, 50%. You're in a good mood right now. Yeah, in a good mood. You had a Weetabix this morning. That's good. Right, I'm going to give it 100% as well. So 100% from me, 100% from him. We both love it. It's a typical David Regal release. Very, very clever. Very, very commercial. Well done, David Regal. Let's wrap this thing up.
That's another review show in the bag. That's another review show in the bag. That's another review show in the bag.
It is another review show in the bag. Once again, thank you very much for joining us right here on
Magic TV.
We'll see you again soon. Don't forget, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Go follow Ryland on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Currently, he is on almost 16,000 Instagram followers. You're about to hit 1,000 YouTube subscribers, dude. Boom. And I think you're on about 1,500 Facebook followers. So you're doing really well. If you want to follow him, most of the stuff that we put on the review show gets put on his Instagram first. So you'll see it first if you go and follow Ryland. And if you haven't already followed me, please do so. You can follow me on YouTube.
I think you said 1,500 on Instagram.
Sorry, I meant 60.
Oh, no.
60.
No.
1.5 on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah,
That was
Facebook.
it.
And if you haven't already done so and you want to go and join the Netrix, you can do so by going to
www.netrix.cookies.
And when he says cookies, he means .com, but go and go to .cookies and see what happens. Michael, if you're watching this, can you please set up .cookies as the Netrix, else we're going to have a ton of people going there, and they're going to go, what's this? It's a site about cookies. I don't know. So go and check that out, see what all the fuss is about. We'll be back next week with another review show. Thank you once again for joining us. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
We'll see you again, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye.